Man, I feel bad for all of you guys who don't like testing, because that's what we're doing this week. And there's really no way you can show that you're against testing. What are you going to do? You're going to be protesting? Because then you're protesting. You get it, right? Hey team, good to see you again. I know you are just about worn out from all this test stuff, but hang in there. We've got a review today, we've got another practice test tomorrow, and then you guys will be pretty well set. I hope you'll feel confident from that point on. But really what I wanted to do today was I wanted to go over some of the questions that we missed a lot, and then just go over kind of some of the instructions. So what I'd like you to do at the end of this video, and I'll reiterate it then again, but what I would like you to do is pick one area that you are weak in, and there's a little red exclamation point next to that area, and I think it says something like remediation required or something like that. I'd like you to click on one of those, and I'd like you to pick one video to watch, one lesson to look over, and one activity to complete. Just one. You don't have to do all of them, but pick one that you're like, yeah, I need to probably review that because I'm not too sure. So again, that's at the end of this video. We will do that remediation thing. But right now what I'd like to do is I'd like to just do a quick overview of the whole test with you. I'm not going to go question by question. There are some questions I'd like to highlight and really look at. So some of you are very frustrated with some of these questions, and I understand that. There are a couple that I understand, and we're going to look at those together. So please have your test pulled up. You can go ahead and open USA Test Prep, and pause the video here if you need to get that done. So go ahead and pull up the test and pause this to get there. Pause. All right. You have pulled up your test on USA Test Prep, and here are some of the numbers I'd like to highlight. Here's some questions that went really well, okay? And I mean really well. Lots of you got them correct. Question number 1 and question number 25 went really well. So let's take a quick look at those. So question number 1 is the very first question, and this was a question about punctuating the sentence. And really the only difference between these was the final punctuation mark. Question, exclamation point, period, or semicolon. Now, this one, I'm kind of not surprised. Lots of people got this one. That's pretty straightforward. Let's look at number 25. All the way down. All right, 25. Woo! Here we go. Number 25. Based on the root com, what does the word combine mean? I think most of you know what the word combine means. So that was pretty easy. But really it's this root com that means combine. So those were two of the easier questions. But that's not it. This is not so simple. Numbers 23 and 24 were also really strong. And these were also prefix words, spectators, and ants, like accept ants. And so I think you guys really understand the way words are made up, and I'm going to challenge you on one of these questions here. You really need to look at the way words are made up because you could have done better, but it's okay. We're still friends. All right, let's look at numbers 6 through 11. You guys did really well on 6 through 11 as well. And questions 6 through 11, these were really comparing texts, I think, comparing characters to well-known texts, comparing characters in well-known texts. And I was really happy that this went well because this is kind of a tricky thing. But I feel like as a group, we've studied a lot of fiction and analyzed a lot of fiction together and literature. And that's what this is. This is analyzing literature and trying to compare characters and themes. You guys rocked this part of the test. You did so well on this part of the test. And for me as a teacher, that makes me feel good because this is the honestly, this is the hardest stuff. This is the really hard stuff that in high school, a lot of you are going to be ahead of the game. So feel good about all this stuff. You did really good on this. Now, here's where we didn't do so hot. Well, actually, I'm going to talk about one that was... Let's start this whole discussion with number 6, okay? Everybody turn to number 6. Oh, wait. Okay, you're on number 6. I don't know if you heard that. It was my wife. She said, "You want me to wait?" I'm like, "No, just you on the video." So number 6. I wanted to bring this one up because I heard a lot of feedback during the test where people would say, "Hey, I don't know these movies or books. How do I answer this question?" And I understand that. On a test, it can be can freak you out if you're like, "Wait, I don't know what this question's talking about." But let's look at it carefully together. And I can show you that you can do this question without ever having read any of these books or seen any of the movies or ever at all. Okay? It's just using your logic and your mind. So let's read the question. Many works of fiction draw on characters from mythology. Hercules was commonly known as a misfit hero, an unexpected hero with qualities of strength and cleverness and an ability to overcome evil and cheat death. And my question, which character from modern fiction shares many of the same character traits as Hercules? I don't know. Hercules? What character traits? Well, look, it's right here. It's right here. These are his traits. He's a hero with qualities of strength, cleverness, and ability to overcome evil and cheat death. Okay? Atticus Finch. I don't know who that is. Okay, just read it. Is a widower. I don't know what that is. Do you see a word that's hidden in there? Yeah, the word widow. Okay, so maybe it has to do with being a widow. Maybe losing a husband, losing a wife. So it was a widower with a strong sense of morality and justice. Okay. Is this list of things similar to this list of things? Strength, cleverness, overcoming evil, cheating death, morality, and justice. Maybe the justice part, but not so much on all the rest of this. So I'm probably going to eliminate this one. Okay, let's look at B. Jay Gatsby from The Great Gatsby. I've heard of it, but I haven't read it. I don't know what. Is a man with a lot of money, a lot of... What is this word? I don't know what this word is. Now, if you take the time to sound it out, it's acquaintances and very few friends. Does that sound like Hercules? Nope. So I can eliminate that one easy. Hermione from Harry Potter is a level-headed, logical in her efforts to help Harry solve the mysteries surrounding Voldemort. Logical. Is this hero, Hercules, logical? Cheat death, overcome evil, cleverness. Maybe cleverness talks about his mind, so maybe being clever and being logical are similar. So maybe. So I have a maybe on an A, but it's pretty weak, and a maybe on a C, but it's kind of weak. And then I come to D. Katniss Everdeen, The Hunger Games, is independent. A misfit hero. Misfit means you don't fit in, so on your own. So maybe that. Loyal and intelligent. Cleverness. Okay. Cleverness. Defeating her enemies and saving herself in the games. Defeating her enemies. Overcoming evil and cheating death. Saving herself in the game. So of these, D is obviously the one that's most correct. So that's why taking the time to analyze the question is really going to help you out. Look at the key words: overcoming evil, cleverness, strength, hero. And then I go and I have these: loyal, intelligent, defeating enemies, saving herself. So you always compare these things and you will definitely be able to find out the answer. Number 6 was an excellent example of how you can figure out just about any question on a test from context. All right, so here are the numbers that were needed a lot of help. Okay, I'm going to read off the numbers and then we'll go through them one by one kind of quickly. So the numbers are number 3, number 4, number 15, number 16, and number 22. So we're going to cover number 3, number 4, number 15, number 16, number 22. Let's look at number 3 together. Which sentence uses a present participle as part of a verb rather than as an adjective or noun? I know why you got this one wrong. Because we haven't talked about a participle, have we? No, we haven't. So I know why you got this wrong. That's my fault. Let's take a look at the whiteboard here. We're going to look at what a participle is. And you'll say, what? Yes, participle. Okay. So we have 2 sentences here. Running hurts me, and I was running last night. Both of these sentences have a participle in them. A participle is a word ending in ing. That's the simplest definition, okay? It's not exactly, but it's close enough. It's a word ending in ing, okay? Running, running. These are my 2 participles. So let's go back to this question. Which sentence uses a present participle as part of a verb rather than an adjective or noun? So a participle working like a verb instead of an adjective or noun. So let's go back. So here's my first participle. Here's my next participle. In this sentence, how is the participle acting? Is it what part of speech is it acting like? I know running is a verb. Like when you run, you're running, right? But in this sentence, what's it acting like? So what's my actual verb? What's the doing thing here? If you're not sure, what's the subject? Let's go back to our diagram here. I'm going to help you out. Boink. Here we go. Subject over here. Running. What is the running doing? It's hurting. So this is the verb. So this is actually acting like a noun. This is a noun. Okay, so the subject, a noun, is doing this. So this is actually an active voice sentence because the subject is doing the hurting and it is hurting me. Me receives the hurting from running. Okay, so this participle is acting like a noun. This participle is acting like a noun. What about this participle here? What is this acting like? Well, let's do our line here again. What's the subject of this sentence? I. That's the subject. What's the verb? Was running. When was I running? Last night. Okay, so this is my verb. So in this sentence, the participle is acting like a verb. So this sentence is a noun, this sentence is a verb. So let's go back to the question. Which sentence uses a present participle as a verb? Or it even says as a part of a verb rather than an adjective or noun. So I'm looking for this situation right here. I want something that looks like this, where the ing word is acting like a verb. So now I'm going to go back here and look at my options. Running out of the house, the little girl called out to her friends. Now, as a tricky sentence, this should actually go at the end. The little girl called out to her friends running out of the house. The little girl is the subject. The verb is called out to her friends. And then I have this other thing at the end of the sentence that no. So running's tricky here. This is a maybe. Look at B. The two brothers started a flourishing business in the district. What's the verb here? Well, first of all, the two brothers did something. They started. What about business? Flourishing business? What's this acting like? It's describing the business, right? A flourishing business. So, verb? Nope, it's not acting like a verb. It's acting like an adjective. Cross off B. The crowd was laughing at the stand-up comedian's routine. Crowd is my subject. What are they doing? They was laughing. Is this acting like a verb? Yes. Was laughing is acting like a verb. So the participle's acting like a verb, C's my right answer, but I check D just in case. The tilting roof, ing, there's my ing word. The roof, it's describing the roof, so it's acting like an adjective. Cool. So I have my correct answer, C. All right. Let's look at number 4. This one also did not go so well. Number 4 says, to get to my house, you will need to follow my directions. You should then get there without any trouble. And it says, choose the selection in which the sentence is properly punctuated. So let's go down here. No, here, yes. Okay, I want to look at this sentence more closely. Now, I want you to go away. You and you leave. Give me a second, guys. Okay, now let's look. To get to my house, you will need to follow my directions. You should get there without any trouble. Now, I should know, to get to my house, you will need to follow my directions. There should be a pause in here somewhere. To get to my house, you will need to follow my directions. So, let's set a comma here. And now I have too many commas. I have a comma here and a comma here. I have what's called a dependent clause. Some of you remember like comma fanboys, dependent and independent clauses. This clause can't stand on its own. This is not a complete sentence. It's part of this thing. This thing would be a complete sentence. Boop. You will need to follow my directions. That can be a sentence all by itself, because there's a subject and a predicate. You will need to follow my directions. This doesn't have a subject. It has a predicate, to get to my house, but there's no subject. So these kind of work together, and we can separate a independent clause that can stand by itself and a dependent clause with a comma if we switch the order. But then I have this other thing here. You should then get there without any trouble, which is like a whole other subject and predicate. I've got my subject and then the verb phrase here. So it's like, what is going on with this sentence? Well, let me tell you. Anytime that you have a dependent and independent clause put together, you can do this with a little comma between them. That's fine. If we're going to throw in a whole other sentence, it's part of this sentence, but it's sort of its own sentence. It's got its own subject and predicate. We're going to sort of make it a comma and sort of make it a period. So we do this thing called the semicolon, because it's a period and a comma. Okay? That's a period and a comma. It's a semicolon. So going back here, that is the correct answer. Semicolon right there. Okay? And if you want to read the explanation here, you can. You could just pause the video. All right, let's look at number 15. That was the next missed. I know why we missed this one too. This one's just super, super complicated text. Defensive baby worship. Oof. This is hard to read. I'll give you that. I struggled with it. And I'm a college graduate 3 times over, so it was rough. But let's see what we can get done here. I want to analyze this phrase for you guys. Oops, let's look. No. Let's look right here. Let's look at the question. The question says, what effect is achieved by the parenthetical phrase in this sentence? And right away, you're like, what on earth is that? This is where those root words come into play. You go, what's a word that's hidden inside of here? Parent, maybe? Parent? Maybe parentha? Parentha? Maybe parentha? So maybe, just maybe, you get lucky and you think, maybe it's talking about a parentheses, because we have some parentheses in here. So this is a parenthetical phrase with parentheses. Parentheses, there's a phrase inside of those parentheses that's called a parenthetical phrase. And the question is, what's this phrase doing? Even when we are perfectly simple or ignorant. And it says, we do, even when we are perfectly simple or ignorant. This is clarifying something about the we. It's like us, but us under certain conditions. Us in a certain way. So going back here, again, even the explanation, the answer choice here is just hard to understand. It helps qualify the overall state of the group called we in this sentence. They're overcomplicating this question, and it's okay. So, but there are some of these we can cross off. So even if you're guessing, there's some of these. It shows that adults and children have certain things in common. Even when we are, this has nothing to do with that. So A is crossed off. This phrase has nothing to do with adults and children in common. It has the effect of de-emphasizing the point being made in the sentence. De-emphasizing the point? Maybe. Talks about being simple or ignorant. Yeah, we can actually do these things. Maybe. It helps qualify the overall state of the group called we in this sentence. I don't really know what that says, so I can't really cross it off because I don't really know. It might be right. It has the effect of deflecting attention away from the subject of the sentence. Why would you want to deflect attention away from the subject of the sentence? Why would you want to make a sentence harder to read? I don't know. So I could probably cross this one off. So I'm really left with like these two. These two, B and C. In between that, I have a 50-50 guess. All right, let's move on to 16. Same thing, because this passage was really hard. 16 says, the two facts which attract most every normal person to children are, first, that they are very serious, and secondly, that they are in consequence very happy. So we would need to look at this word consequence, because it says, how does the phrase in consequence affect the meaning of the sentence? And I think about consequence. And I go, consequence is what happens when something, then a consequence happens. Because of this, a consequence happens. So, dun, and then consequences, dun. Okay, so what does it do? What thing happens first, and then there's a result that happens after it? Well, it says, first, they're serious. And second, in consequence, they're very happy. So, being serious first, and the result is that they are happy. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's what the sentence is saying. So let's see what my answer choices are. It maintains that babies are serious only because they lack happiness. Babies are serious only because they lack happiness? That's not what this says. It says that first they are serious, and because of that, they're very happy. Okay. So A is wrong. B, it underlines the mystery of baby's seriousness, given that they are so happy. So this answer choice is saying, babies are serious. It's mysterious that babies are serious because they are so happy. This is actually saying the opposite. This is saying that they are happy because they are serious. Okay, so I might cross off B. C, it suggests coincidental. You know what a coincidence is? A coincidental relationship between seriousness and happiness for babies. No, it's not saying that it's accidental that they're serious and happy. It's saying there's a direct relationship because of the word consequence. D, it establishes a causal. What does causal mean? Maybe it means it causes something. A causal relationship between the seriousness and their happiness. So causal relationship means seriousness causes their happiness. First, they are serious. Secondly, in consequence, they're very happy. Okay, so that causes it. So D is the correct answer. All right, and last number we're going to cover today is number 22. Which sentence excerpted from the passage is an example of faulty logic? I think maybe where some of you went wrong here is you didn't understand what the word faulty means. Faulty means broken or not functioning. So, logic is reasoning and just thinking through things in a ordered way. So, where's the thought process broken here? A, she could not be more wrong, though. No, that's just a conclusion. B, if they're so corrosive and decadent, how could millions of people tune in every week to watch these shows? So this sentence is saying, if the shows are so ugly and nasty, why would people watch them? Is there something wrong with that reasoning? It's really saying, like, the shows are great because lots of people watch them. I think there's a problem there. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's good, right? So this is the correct answer. And again, I'm not gonna go through all these, but you would look at these other ones and you'd be able to eliminate some of these other ones. If you have questions about why these should be eliminated, please come talk to me. Here's an explanation here. And that's going to wrap it up for us on the review of these 5 questions. The last thing I want you to do is I want you to click on one of those areas you need to do remediation, the little red exclamation point. Pick one video, pick one lesson, and pick one activity, and do all that stuff, get it done. Do you have questions? Then come find me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.